Welcome back to Listen St. Louis with Carol Daniel on 9 PBS. Clarity, understanding, and empathy. Common values for those on the front lines charting a bold way forward for African Americans in St. Louis. Stay tuned as we talk to these changemakers, visionaries, and overcomers. I'll ask the questions you want to hear and get the clarity we all need about the issues we face. That's next on Listen St. Louis with Carol Daniel on 9 PBS.
Today on Listen St. Louis with Carol Daniel, we have our first In the Community episode. We visited the home of a North City resident that was destroyed in the May 16th tornado that devastated parts of St. Louis City. Linda Grandberry-Shelton, a homeowner in the Ville neighborhood, tells us the story about what happened that day, how this has impacted her family, and how she plans to move forward. That's next on Listen St. Louis with Carol Daniel on 9 PBS.
Listen St. Louis with Carol Daniel is supported in part by Midwest Bank Center, Orvin and Latrice Kimbrough, the Betsy and Thomas Patterson Foundation, and the St. Louis Development Corporation.
Listen St. Louis with Carol Daniel is on the road in North St. Louis City, and we wanted to come outside to see up close and personal the damage from the May 16th tornado and talk to one of the survivors. I'm Carol Daniel, and I am joined by the lovely, and we will talk about that in just a second, Linda Grandberry-Shelton. Linda, thank you for inviting us to your block.
And thank you very much, Carol, for having me. I appreciate it.
We can see your house in the background, but let's start with that morning of May 16th. I, for one, came to work thinking it might rain today. Were you thinking?
I was not even thinking about any bad weather that day. I was thinking about the afternoon that I was going to have to take my granddaughter, one of my trained granddaughters, to work at Schnucks out in Ferguson. And I was sitting there in my family room when all of this heavy wind started. Didn't hear any sirens or alarms or anything like that. I was sitting there on my sofa when the front of my home collapsed. And it was very, very frightening.
I was going to ask you, when did you know that it was more than just heavy wind, but when one's home collapses around them, that tells you something serious.
Yes.
Did you run? Did you scream? What did you do?
What I did was hollered out to my family members who were upstairs, and in the kitchen I hollered out to them to let's get to the basement because there was something happening. And before we could go to the basement, the back of my home collapsed, and then the side of my home collapsed. It was very, very frightening. And we all gathered up in the front of the home on the north side. And then it happened so quickly. There were people walking up and down the street hollering to see if anybody was in the home. And right here to the north is where we got out. But we were standing there waiting for someone to rescue us when we saw Miss Dolores Holmes in this home across the street. Her home collapsed on her, and they had brought her out in the yard and was giving her CPR. And we were standing there watching while they were giving her CPR. The ambulance and police could not get through because of the down
trees and wires and everything. So were you still trapped in the house?
We were still in
watching
the house,
your neighbor
watching my
pass
neighbor.
away?
Yes, they were giving her CPR.
How long have you lived in this home?
I have lived here 45 years.
And were you the one who bought it?
Yes.
Why did you want to live here? Why did you choose this house?
I wanted to live here because I love the Ville. I love the greater Ville. It's a historic black area. And my oldest daughter attended Sumner High School. And it's a historic black high school. And that's why I wanted to stay here in this neighborhood. And I want to rebuild if I could. I want to stay here.
You did get a red sticker on your door, which we can't see right now.
Right. I did receive the red sticker that my home was totaled.
And we have done stories at 9 PBS about the insurance issues. Everybody's paying attention to that. People in North City who either lost insurance or couldn't get it because of the cost of replacement versus the value of their home. You do have insurance.
I do have insurance, and I am waiting on my insurance company to make the insurance settlement. Right now, I am doing a personal statement for the 18 rooms in my home, where I have to list everything that was lost, the year, the cost, and all of that. So that's very time consuming.
Right.
So I did have insurance.
It probably helps you that you were a famous picture taker, so you probably have a lot of these things in photos.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do have pictures of my home. And I went to FEMA. I've been there twice, to the church on Newstead and Delmore. The first time I went because I had filled out the FEMA application, but I had not heard from them. And then the second time I went, well, the first time they told me what I needed. And so the second time that I went, they told me that I needed the insurance settlement. So that's what I'm waiting on now, to take to FEMA.
So
before the 16th of August.
You have applied for FEMA.
Yes, I have.
But you have to get the insurance. They need you to get your insurance
Yes,
first.
That's correct.
Are you gearing up for a battle with your insurance company?
I don't know. I hope not. I hope that I get what I put into my
Right.
home. That's what I'm hoping, but I don't know.
Have you gotten any indication of anybody in the insurance industry, saying your home is worth less than your heart tells you?
No. I
Haven't
have
heard
not.
any of those numbers yet?
Haven't heard anything yet. Haven't heard anything yet. But I'm hoping and praying that I get what I put.
Because you
what
want
I
to
put in.
rebuild.
Yes, I want to rebuild. And I put $100,000 in my home, replacing 55 windows, all steel doors, brand new heating and cooling system. I took a pride in keeping my home beautiful, and that's what I worked 44 years for as a manager at AT&T, is to keep my home up.
And interest of full disclosure, is Sharon your oldest daughter?
Yes, Sharon is my
So
oldest
I've
daughter.
known Sharon for 30 years. As a journalist, she was in the public information space, so she was one of those that you'd call and try to get a story. So I know your
Right.
daughter well.
Yes.
And 2 days later, I think it was, I sent her a text and I said, "Is this your mom? Is this your home?"
Yes.
And she said, "It's the home." She texted me back, "It's the home I grew up in, and we are devastated."
Yes. Yes,
How
we
are you?
I have good days and I have bad days, because it was very traumatic to go through a tornado. I had only seen this kind of stuff on television and the movies,
Right.
but to be sitting right there, with all this going on around, I had, like I said, I have good days, I have bad days, but I'm still getting there. I went out Saturday to Sophie's. Sunday I went to Kofla, just trying to do things, because I had not went out, since my home was destroyed. I just wasn't feeling up to it.
We can see, like, all the bricks are in your front yard.
Right.
We look down the street, there's some tarp, but some homes are not covered at all.
Right.
How has the response from city officials been, in your estimation?
Okay, I have gone to several meetings that my state representative, Kimberly Collins, invited me to. I just asked her the other day about the $30 million, the RAMS money, and she informed me that the Board of E&A has not voted on that yet.
Right.
I also asked her about the $100 million that the House of Representatives, where she serves, and the Senate, about that money, but she informed me that that is not for individual households.
And did you then ask her, as by way of follow-up, well, then what is it for?
Well, I didn't ask her.
Were you surprised to hear that? Was
Yes,
your
I was.
assumption
Very,
that
very
when the state
surprised.
legislature approved $100 million for tornado recovery,
Right.
that it would be for individuals,
Yes.
homeowners?
Yes. But when she said that, I was baffled. I couldn't understand that. And then I also asked her about cleaning up, that would I have to demolish this? She said that the city was focusing on the LRA properties first.
Right.
And then they would deal with private. So I don't know if I'm part of the private part of it to
Right.
have this demolished. since
So
it's
the
not livable.
LRA homes that the city owns
Right.
that were damaged in the
Yes,
tornadoes.
yes.
How do you feel about the city focusing on the homes it owns first versus?
Well, the LRA homes, I feel, should have been torn down. years ago.
And there was a program to tear them down.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah,
there
years
is
ago.
money allocated to tear them down.
Right, right. And North St. Louis has suffered for many years. And with the devastation from this tornado, it's even worse. You can't watch it on the news or look at pictures. You have to see it for yourself. That it's devastating, you know, that we have lost our homes. It feels horrible.
Did you decide to talk to anyone, to your pastor or a therapist?
No, I have not. I have had therapy in the past, but I have not talked to a therapist as of yet. I saw my doctor a couple of weeks ago, and we sat and talked about what I've gone through.
This is the kind of thing that induces, I mean, it's natural to go through something like this. She was in this house when what we see now, she was inside. Right. So the stress of that easily becomes what we now know as PTSD.
Right.
Do you think that you have suffered from that?
I think I have it.
How has it shown up?
I have crying spells at times, you know, and sometimes I just want to be alone. I don't want to be bothered with anyone, you know, and I just go inside myself.
Tell me where your hope lies and what hope you have.
Okay, my hope is that I can rebuild my home and that my insurance company gives me the money that I put into my home. That's all I want. Nothing more, nothing less.
I think I read that you had 7 family members living with you. You are the matriarch.
Yes.
What do you hope that happens again, and where are they and how are they?
Yes,
I hate to ask you 5 questions in a row.
Right, that's okay. We are back together.
Okay.
We are back together, and that's a good feeling, you know, because we were separated for the first time in life, and that was a horrible feeling, you know, but we're back together, and so I'm thankful to the Most High for that.
Because you lived in this home for decades, it would be hard to nail down 1 or 2 favorite memories, but you have memories in this home you've lived in.
Yes, I do.
Can you talk to me about 1 or 2?
Yes, when my children graduated from high school and went to college, it was a very happy time in my life. Yeah, very happy time.
So I said that we were going to talk about the stylish woman that she is. One would not be surprised at all if you showed up in sweats. It's very hot today, but so that would surprise me.
Right.
But was it a conscious decision you made to say, one tornado is not going to stop me from looking this good every day?
I did, because
you did make that decision?
Oh yes, I had 4 closets in my home with my clothing and shoes that I could pull out whatever I wanted to wear. And it's a funny thing, when I was a manager at AT&T, when I would come to work every day, and my employees would say, "Why do you come to work every day dressed up?" I said, "When you look good, you feel good, and when you feel good, you all should try it." And that's my motto.
And so after this tornado and the devastation, the shock, the pain, the sadness, were you able to get all your clothes out? Were you able to get
No, I was
anything
not.
of value out?
The first floor, I was able to get all of my clothes out of my closet. The 3rd floor, I did not.
And then come to find out someone broke into your home.
Yes, someone broke into the home. They were living in my basement. There were men's clothing and shoes down there. Had made a bed in one of my sofas. I had 4 sofas down there, a big pool table. We did a lot of entertainment down there. And so they tried to steal my washer and dryer, but they could not get it out because I have a security door plus an old style wash tub. And then all the debris from the home had fallen behind there, and they couldn't get it up the steps because they were too narrow. Then they cut my pipes and flooded my basement.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So that's a separate insurance claim,
Yes.
is it not?
I don't know if it is or not,
Oh.
but it was devastating to see, you know, all that I've gone through, and then you come in my home and do that.
Linda, I am hearing from different nonprofit groups who immediately after the tornado, donations are flowing, And donations are still coming in, but they have trickled. So I want you to leave us with a couple of messages, and one of those is to people who feel like it's been too much, time has passed, and they are no longer focused on the survivors and the damage.
Right. Well, July 16th was my birthday, and that was 2 months that the tornado had torn up everything. And I just feel that, you know, the money that's out there, it needs to help the people who need help, to rebuild, to move to a different location, whatever they need to do. And I just feel that, you know, we need help out here.
And last, your message to city leaders who
need help. Board of Aldermen, state representatives, the senators, FEMA, everybody. We need your help in North St. Louis. Come over here, you'll see the damage and how it has destroyed lives. And me, I want to start over right here. I want to start over right here.
You have a large extended family and a lot of love and a lot of support.
Yes, I do.
But do you at all feel alone or forgotten about?
Sometimes I do. Those moments that I'm, you know, feeling that trauma, that's the way I feel, you know.
Well, we are here because you're not forgotten about.
All right, well, thank you
at
so
all.
much.
Thank you so much.
It. Thank you, Carol. You're beautiful.
Oh.
You're gorgeous. Thank you.
We're going to make sure we leave that part in. So we are in North St. Louis, and we're going to continue at 9 PBS to cover the recovery effort from the May 16th tornado. Linda's is but one story of many. So we ask you to stay tuned. We have resources at 9pbs.org. If you want to give and want to volunteer, you can just go to that site on our webpage to figure out just how you can get involved to help people who are still, as you can tell, deep in the recovery process. Thanks for joining us on this unusual edition of Listen St. Louis with Carol Daniel. We outside and it's hot, so we're going to go back inside now. Thank you so much.
Listen St. Louis with Carol Daniel is supported in part by Midwest Bank Center, Orvin and Latrice Kimbrough, the Betsy and Thomas Patterson Foundation, and the St. Louis Development Corporation.